Alright, today we're going to be talking about ratios. And ratios is on page 31 and 32. Alright, a ratio is a comparison of two or more quantities by division. A ratio can be written in three ways. The first way, which is probably the most common, is using a colon, just like this. So to compare A to B. The second way would be to write them as a fraction. So A over B. And the third way would be to use the word to, A to B. No matter how you write it, you always say it as A to B. So this is A to B, A to B, and A to B. For our first example, it says compare the number of circles to squares in the picture using the three ways mentioned above. So we're comparing circles to squares. That is C to S. Down here at the bottom it says the number of circles comes first because it was the first thing asked to compare. So whatever is mentioned first, that's what comes first in your ratio. So for this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 circles and 1, 2 squares. Now we could also simplify this just like we would simplify a fraction. So both of these are divisible by 2. So our accurate ratio is actually 2 to 1. Same thing if we wrote it as a fraction. 4 to 2, we would really say is 2 to 1 because we can divide both of those by 2. And the last way, 4 to 2, would be 2 to 1. A ratio can compare three different things. It can compare part to part. So I like to think about in my classroom, boys to girls. That's part to part. Part of my class is boys, part of my class is girls. We could say part to whole. So boys to everyone in the class, or just the opposite, whole to part. So everyone in the class to girls. All right, next page. A ratio must have the same units or be able to be converted to the same unit. So you can have feet compared to feet, or if you could have feet compared to miles, because those two are convertible. So for example, 6 centimeters to 60 grams. Can those be compared? Well, no, they can't be. They can't be compared because centimeters and grams are not the same unit of measurement. So we would just put in there, they are not the same. They cannot be converted. Three feet to 7 feet. Yes, they can form a ratio because they are the same unit. "5 minutes to 24 seconds. Yes, they can be written as a ratio because you can convert minutes to seconds. "12 grams to 45 kilograms. That would be yes. If we use our King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk, you can convert grams to kilograms, or vice versa, kilograms to grams. And last, 3 ounces and 3 inches. Can we write those as a ratio? No, we cannot, because you cannot convert. Okay, in our practice, it gives us that reminder that you must always simplify ratios. So let's underline it or make it squiggly so that we know that we always simplify our ratios. And we have a table. Our table is showing the pets owned by students. 5 students own a dog, 8 students own a cat, and 10 students own a fish. So if we want to make a comparison of fish to cats, we would just write F to C. There are 10 fish and 8 cats. We can divide both of these by 2, and that would give us our simplified ratio of 5 to 4. Cats to total pets. So we've got cats to total. I know that we have 8 cats. We need to count up how many total do we have. So our total would be 5 plus 8 plus 10. That would give us 23 altogether. So our ratio of cats to total is 8 to 23. 8 and 23 don't have any common factor, so that is our answer. Okay, the last one on our chart says cats to dogs to fish. So we would write cats to dogs to fish. We haven't seen a ratio like this, but it is totally fine. Remember that it's a comparison of two or more numbers. So we could write cats, which is 8, dogs, which is 5, and fish, which is 10. Now I know 5 and 10 have common factors, and I know that 8 and 10 have common factors. However, all three of our numbers must have a common factor if we're going to simplify our ratio. And 8, 5, and 10 do not have a common factor. So we're going to box that in because it is our final answer. All right, 2 more examples. We have 1 day to 6 hours. Remember that we can compare these as long as we get them both to the same unit. So we need to convert our day to hours. Well, we know that 1 day equals 24 hours. So our comparison would be 24 to 6. Now I know both 24 and 6 are divisible by 6. So that would give us a simplified ratio of 4 to 1. Marked on my page by accident. I'm going to just erase that real quick. Okay, now we have 7 kilograms to 21 grams. We would need to use King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. Kilo, hecto, deca, base, deci, centi, milli, just like we learned yesterday. And if we want to go from, let's just go from kilograms to grams. So we'll start out here, and our gram is our base, so we would move once, twice, 3 times. That's how many times our decimal would move. And we're going to the right, so we would move once, twice, 3 times. So that would be 7,000 grams compared to 21 grams. So our ratio is 7,000 to 21. Now I know that both of these can be divided by 7. And that would be 1,000 to 3.